beautiful, cold, crisp December morning here in Elkton, Maryland, and hopefully I'll be living somewhere else come a month from now. I look with great anticipation to accepting the position offered to me by an employer that's going to bring me what I know to be true. And I wanted to talk about something wonderful. First of all, I went to the movie Hugo last night. I felt within my spirit that the universe was drawing me to see this particular movie. And it wasn't because of the advertisements. It wasn't because I really like Martin Scorsese, which I do. But I just felt pulled from the universe saying, go see Hugo. Go see it at the 4 o'clock show. Go see Hugo. So I went. And the movie was very good for anyone to see. It was rated very high, and I can see why. It was very beautifully done, 3D, which is always a draw. But there was a scene in the movie where the boy character is standing next to the little girl character, and they're looking out over the city of Paris. And she was saying that she didn't know what her life's purpose was. And the boy looked at her and said, well, I've been working with machines for quite a while. And I know that machines have just the right amount of parts. They don't have extras. And that each part has its own purpose. And that I know I have a purpose. And he said, so you're going to find your purpose. And I just looked at it and went, wow. That is very powerful. Because truly, like I was saying, how the universe is like a puzzle, and each of us has a piece that fits in that puzzle. The analogy of the machine truly fits as well. And in the machine, there are cogs. And the movie's quite a lot about clocks, and huge clocks that run in a train station, and gears that turn and spin. And if just one of those cogs is in the wrong place or misaligned, the clock is wrong and won't work, or the machine itself will not spin. And they must be wound daily to keep the perpetual motion going and the wheels spinning. Otherwise, just perpetual motion is not enough to keep the clock accurate. And, it's a wonderful story. So if you get a chance to go see Hugo, not that I'm proposing a movie, but it's a good must-see movie. So in there, finding one's purpose, she wasn't clear on what it was. At the end of the movie, she becomes a writer and writes all about this boy's adventure. Very excellent movie. I could see why Martin Scorsese was drawn toward it, and he did a great job with it too. But I wanted to also talk about two other little things. One is Stanislavski is a famous Russian acting coach, the father of method acting. And he has a quote. And if you're on my Facebook page, you can look in quotes that I admire, and you'll see this quote there. He talks about how each person, to build a character, or to build character and truth, to do it with truth, must do the following. They must ask themselves the following questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Where did I come from? And where am I going? Those are some deep questions. And in life, we need to ask ourselves those questions. Who am I? Why am I here? Where did I come from? In other words, what has growing up taught me? And where am I going? I'll refine that a little further. Not that I'm better than Stanislavski. He was someone that a lot of actors are still using today for his amazing wisdom and knowledge. But I would ask yourself the big questions. Who am I is a very good one. So what I would suggest is write down in 2 paragraphs who is, and then say your name. And then just write for 2 paragraphs. Let it flow. Let it come out of you. Why is this important? Well, what it's going to show you is what you believe about yourself. So you may start off with things like, I'm a mother or a father, I'm a friend, I'm a whatever, and you might list your profession. You are those roles, but that's not who you are. You might say you're a child of God. You might say you are a certain age. Well, wait a year and you're not going to be that age. You'll become the next age. But what are the things that you know to be true about yourself? And then where do you come from, Stanislavski talks about. That's a wonderful thing to ask. Because each of us has life experiences. Some of them are what I call fluff, which means they're just things that you went through that were light, airy, don't really hold any weight. Kind of like diet soda. All it does is give you sodium and help you retain weight, not lose any weight. But we won't go there. That's another conversation. But then there are things that you went through in your childhood, in your teenage years, in your adulthood, people you've met from times that you spent together, life lessons that you've learned, and things you've accomplished. Those things are building blocks. And even if now you're laying on the ground in a foundation that's just left with bricks that are laying on the side from your past, and you're looking to rebuild it again, like I am, you choose what are the solid bricks to use in your walls, and not walls to house you in, but to build you up. So where is it taking you up to? And it's very important that we look over the things that we did right. We all make mistakes. Edison, tried 999 elements before he finally found the right one. But he always kept himself on track, finding the right one, not focusing on the things that he did wrong. So you learn a life lesson, and you take a step in a new direction. If you evaluate things very carefully and concisely, and are honest with yourself of what you've accomplished in the past, things that felt good to you in the past, that maybe you should do again. The one thing that you will do is you will see yourself moving in a slightly different direction. Well, if you are going in a slightly different direction, it doesn't look like much here, but as it goes up further, it eventually takes you in a totally different direction. So you see my point. If you're following my fingers there, takes you totally different location. By just shifting it just a little bit, it will take you totally opposite direction. So why do I bring that up? Well, I bring that up because sometimes we feel like, I'm in the same rut. I'm in the same path. I always do the same things. Well, if you're always making the same mistake, for example, let's say when you get out of bed in the morning, you're always stubbing your toe on the leg of the nightstand that you have next to you. Now, I've never done this, but I have stubbed my toe on the end of a bed. And I did it only once, because I learned, don't turn around when you get up out of bed, because you can hurt your toe. But a person that constantly gets out of bed and stubs their toe needs to move the nightstand so that it's not going to be in his path or her path. And if you don't, you're just asking to stub your toe again. So the question I have to ask you is this: how many times do you have to stub your toe before you realize that you need to move something just a little bit, or move it entirely, or replace it with something else? A nightstand that's not going to have legs that you're going to hit. Maybe a solid base, and move it just a few inches to the right. Those kind of lessons you need to learn, and you need to learn them fully. That the past does not equal the future unless you constantly are looking at it and attracting it back to yourself. And yes, you can attract the same things to yourself over and over and over again. Because, as the saying goes, ignorance is bliss. Why do they say ignorance is bliss? Because ignorance is ignoring. That's what ignorance means. Ignoring what you know to be true. Choosing to sugarcoat it and ignore it and just be blissful in the now, only to do the same ignorant thing, which is to ignore it rather than dealing with it and then moving past it and going, like I said, in a totally different direction. My life goals: I am 220 pounds. I am a life coach. I am helping people to discover who they are and to make choices so that they can be successful. That is my life mission, my life goal. I'm a creative writer who writes amazing works that touch people's hearts, and I've been that way since 2005, but I haven't allowed myself to get them published. I haven't allowed myself to enjoy and embrace that and live it fully. But I am moving ever closer to it, as if it is now. So this is Ron Brown for Being Truly Well Minutes. So remember, the big questions to ask yourself is, who am I? Why am I here? Where did I come from? And where am I going? Thank you, Mr. Stanislavski, for being the most amazing method acting coach. Method acting, by the way, if you've ever been wondering, is being authentic. Where a person, if they're playing a heavy person, they'll gain the weight so that they can experience that instead of putting on padding. You must experience life. You must be the main cast actor, the lead actor or actress in your own life. If you are not, and you are just a character, an extra in your own life, shame on you. Because you are love and light, and I love you. So you need to love you, embrace you, take you in, and hold you, but not hold you back. It's Ron Brown with Being Truly Well Minutes. Have a great day.